Hi guys, now let me bring to you the five most fascinating lakes I've visited while on my travels and tour vlogging. Just for the few years I've done travels and tours, I've not visited many lakes, but the ones I've visited, there is something interesting about them, and each one has something special about it. And I think people should visit these lakes. Some of them located in normal places, but some you have to get to the height of the hill, the apex of the hill to see them, while some you have to pass through processes, do some rituals before you get to them because they are sacred lakes. Okay, back to what we were saying. Five most fascinating lakes thus far. Most fascinating because of their special features, the special stories behind them, which I'm not going to bring to you here. I'm going to just mention these lakes so you can go take a look and see what I'm talking about. At number 5 is the Fish Lake. The Fish Lake is special because it is at the top of the hill. You don't find it on the ground. You find it at the top of the hill, at the top of Idere Hill. Now, Idere Hill is in Oyo State, Nigeria. So, to see the Fish Lake, you have to climb the Idere Hill. When you get to the top, you see the Fish Lake. Now, it is called the Fish Lake because it is shaped like a fish. And tourists like this lake not just because of its position at the top of the hill, but because of its shape and its history. This lake is said to be a place where warriors who went to war in this community in the ancient times used to stay for 7 days before they go out, and then they must win that battle. And then once they go out, they always win such battles. Note that people of Idere community used to stay on this hill. People of Idere community used to live on this hill several years ago before they migrated to the foot of the hill. They used to live on this hill. So the Fish Lake also served as a source of water to the people who lived on this hill hundreds of years ago. So that is the Fish Lake. While on top of the lake, you can just walk back a little, turn, and look at the beauty of the ancient city of Idere from the height of the hill. You take an aerial view and then see the beauty of the top of the hill. That's Idere Hill. At number 4 is Iyore Lake. Iyore Lake is also on top of the hill. Now that's what makes it special, the Iyore Lake. Now the Iyore Lake is on Idere Hill. That's the second lake you find on top of Idere Hill out there in Oyo State, Nigeria. So while climbing the hill, you see some sights, and then when you get to the top of the hill, you find the Fish Lake on one side and Iyore Lake on the other side. What an interesting lake. Big lake, deep lake, and also served as source of water to those who lived on this hill several years ago. The Iyore Lake. So of course you can just turn your back and see the beauty of the hill. Once you are on top of that hill, you see the landscape of Idere City, the ancient city of Idere, out there in Oyo State, Nigeria. Iyore Lake comes to me as number 4. Of course, the position makes it special on top of the hill. At number 3 is the Ujiezenekwa Lake. Ujiezenekwa Sacred Lake is out there in Opi Nsukka. Opi Nsukka is in Enugu State, Nigeria. Now this is a sacred lake. So you don't just walk into that place. You don't just walk into Opi town and then go to Ujiezenekwa to see the lake. Of course, you have to go with those who understand the environment and understand the rituals that you're supposed to do before you get to the lake, because it is a sacred lake. So to completely enjoy the environment of the lake, to completely feel free while walking around the lake, you need to go with somebody who understands what it takes to get close to the lake. Now, this lake is very special because it is a lake that has different kinds of water animals in it. You have the crocodile inside, you have the python, you have a big python inside, and of course, they live in harmony with the fish inside the lake. Nice environment of the lake with some little history about how the Westerners, the first Europeans that came to this town, were here to try to understand the lake and of course live with some of the animals. Well, that's the history behind the lake, but my interest was the beauty of the lake as a tourist attraction and the serenity of the town. What a wonderful place to visit. The Ujiezenekwa Lake out there in Opi Nsoka, Enugu State, Nigeria. Nice place to visit. Wow. I still remember my experience visiting the Ujiezenekwa Lake. The bike from town, because you have to stop at a particular spot and then take a bike. If your car cannot move, they cannot navigate the topography of the environment, you take a car, so you take a bike. So I took a ride. This bike man who understands the terrain took me, and the ride through the village, the ride through the topography of the road, that bumpy ride wasn't funny at all, but it was exciting. And as we moved and saw the villages, saw the villagers, I felt the natural African environment, and that made that experience very, very special. The visit to Ujiezenekwa Lake, that was a nice trip. At number 2 is the Orufu Lake, the sacred Orufu Lake, still in Opi Nsoka. Orufu Lake is also a sacred lake which you have to visit with someone who understands the environment of the lake, understands what it takes to get to the lake, understands what you should do to enjoy the environment of the lake. And I went there with my bike man, with an elderly man who helped us to get close to the lake, if you understand what I mean. And this place was so quiet that I could feel the beauty of the environment and the beauty of nature, especially the quiet environment, the sound of the birds, the cool nature of the lake. Oh my word, you need to visit the Orufu Lake. Orufu Lake is a nice place to visit. Not that you go into the lake to swim or do anything, but at least take a look. Wow. The ride to the lake was like a ride to the middle of nowhere. That was one experience that got me thinking that, hey, travel vlogging is not an easy one. We were on a bike with the bike man and the elderly man I was traveling with, and we rode for close to an hour through a bumpy terrain to get to Orufu Lake. But at the end, the experience was very, very interesting. You should visit the Orufu Lake. Orufu Lake out there in Opi Nsoka, Enugu State, Nigeria. At number 1, of course, is the Oguta Lake. The Oguta Lake is one of the biggest tourist attractions in the entire West Africa. The Oguta Lake. Oguta Lake is located in Oguta, Imo State, Nigeria, and it's been a tourist site for years because people used to love the quiet nature of the environment. They love the confluence. Remember, there's a place at the Oguta Lake where you have 2 different rivers meeting but not mixing. They call it the confluence. The story behind it is that the 2 rivers were married, but when they got divorced, they decided to pass their separate ways, and that is why you find 2 colors meeting at a point, but they don't mix. But you see, there's also a scientific explanation for that. But hey, we stick to the mystery behind the lake, behind the confluence, and that's it. Uguta Lake is one spot that tourists love. It's a place that you will stay and you will feel the quiet environment coming into you, changing your mindset, helping you to relax. You will feel the beauty of the lake when you are close to the lake. And it is easily accessible and in a nice town too. So you have nice hotels and nice sit outs, nice eateries. You can also have fun in Uguta. That is why it is always one of the most sought after tourist destinations for people who come from different parts of the world into Nigeria seeking out tourist attractions. So you should visit Uguta Lake. Uguta Lake is one place I keep visiting every time I have that space to go look for a place to relax. Uguta Lake, that's a special place for me. So guys, that is it. These are the lakes I've visited just for the couple of years I've done intensive travels and tours blogging. But hey, I intend to visit other sites, other lakes. And as I do so, I will keep expanding this list to show you other interesting places you can visit as a tourist or a travel vlogger if you want to see the best lakes, the best sites of lakes, the best lake environments that's where you can relax and not just have fun, but at least have this quietness in your spirit, body, and soul. So, see you guys as I visit more lakes. I'll bring you more info on where they are and how you can see them.